I've recently finished Meditations for Mortals by Oliver Burkeman. And in this video, I want to share with you my 3 main takeaways and share why it's an absolute must to add to your summer reading list. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Lizzie. And when I'm not supporting founders and their teams evolve the ways they work, I'm often found with my head in a book. Hence why I've created a dedicated book club series where I share books that have shaped my life and my work. Meditations for Mortals was one of my latest reads, and it was recommended to me by my good friend Emma, who often has very good book recommendations. I've read other works by Oliver Burkeman, including his book 4,000 Weeks, so I kind of knew what to expect from his writing style. And something that I personally like about Oliver's writing style is that it's practical, pragmatic, sometimes quite blunt, but he also has this kind of anti-self-development philosophy, which is someone who has become a self-professed personal development junkie over the years and consumed so many self-help books that can often be incredibly patronizing. I personally find Oliver's style very refreshing. What I first want to talk to is who I would recommend this book to, because I genuinely believe that if you are sat in a particular headspace and you're struggling to get out of it, then this book is truly like a cure, and I will go on to share my experience shortly. But if you're someone who overthinks, gets incredibly anxious, or you're always kind of putting life on hold because you're waiting to get to a certain place in your life, that kind of destinational mindset, like I'll be happy when, I'll be healthier when, like this delayed idea that you're kind of putting life on hold rather than living it in the moment. And it's also ideal for perfectionists, which I, as a recovering people pleaser and perfectionist, I firmly sit in this camp. So if you have that tendency to, constantly procrastinate because you're in that perfectionist mindset, then this is definitely a book for you. At the start of the book, Oliver does make a statement about what this book is about, and I think this sentence sums it up perfectly. This book is about how the world opens up once you realise you're never going to sort your life out. To me, that statement is both an existential crisis and one of total liberation, because when you do realise that you are just a finite human being existing in this world, then all you can really do is take imperfect action. So as you can see, this book is incredibly short. It really won't take up a lot of your time. It's spread across 4 weeks with a small chapter every single day. Now for me, what I did was I added that into my morning routine. So I would get up and I would just open the book and read a chapter every single morning. And the reason I really liked doing this and actually found it incredibly impactful to kind of cement the ideas into my brain is that I would read a chapter in the morning and then I would notice myself throughout the day remembering bits of that chapter and the kind of the theme of that chapter. And it would genuinely make me change a habit or a behavior, because it would almost like drop in at that time and I'd be like, oh yeah, and I'd kind of remember what I'd read that morning. So I found reading these very short chapters just in the morning to be incredibly impactful in actually changing some of my habits and my mindsets throughout the day. Now let me share with you the 3 particular topics that stood out the most, because of course I do not want to ruin the book for you or for this to just be a rundown of the book, because I think everyone, as always, it doesn't matter what book you read, someone will take away something different. So these are just the things that stood out to me. The first one is around this productivity debt, that so often many of us wake up feeling like we're already on the back foot, that we're already behind on the day, even though we've just woken up. And I feel like this mindset is ingrained into us so young and so early that we almost like owe life as soon as we wake up. Like we are in some kind of debt to the world as we've woken up. So we're then scrambling around in this overwhelmed state, trying to complete an infinite to-do list, even though we are finite beings. To me, that really landed because I often joke that there's just never enough hours in the day. But also that to-do list, especially if you work in the service sector or the knowledge arena, you're never going to see that completion happen because the to-do list is infinite. So for me, even that reframing and realization that I'm kind of scrambling to try and do something when I don't actually need to, like I'm not in any kind of productivity debt. Yes, there are things to get done, but I don't need to walk around feeling like I'm on the back foot of my life or my work. The second topic that sunk in for me, and could even be interpreted as being quite controversial, is all around withdrawing your attention. As individuals, we are overwhelmed with people grabbing our attention and distracting us from the things that are meaningful and fulfilling to us. We have social media, we have people in the streets talking, we have the news, we have so many things incoming, and what that tends to do is grab our attention and we get distracted from the things that matter to us the most. So withdrawing our attention is about being selective about where we put our attention and our energy. Now, I've done this myself, so this might be controversial, but I don't watch the news because I know that while it's good to know what's going on in the world, hearing about those things, there's very little I can do as an individual. So as much as I want to be an ally and I want to support some of the things that are happening or rally against them, I am one individual, and we have to realize that finitude of ourselves is that we only have so much power and influence in some of these huge things that happen in the world. Whereas sometimes what actually might be more impactful is to do things locally. How can I support people locally in my local area that would make a difference? And I also think this is around withdrawing our attention to the things that really don't serve us, like social media or other things that take away our energy, our time, our attention of where we want to dedicate it to that matters the most. And I've certainly found that I kind of have slowly come off social media over the past 10 years. I came off Facebook 10 years ago. Then I came off Twitter. I came off Instagram, I think about 2 years ago now, I want to say. I'm on LinkedIn, but that's only really around my professional life. But I just feel like I'm not missing out on anything as much as I thought I would. I get so much more value from sitting and reading a book or just being and enjoying where I am. The third and final theme that really hit me quite hard was allowing people their own problems. So this area was all around people pleasing. And as a recovering people pleaser, I resonated with this chapter so much because it's very easy for us to get distracted by how other people perceive us and how we think we should be living our lives, whether it's we're afraid of judgment or being criticized or upsetting somebody because we're doing something. But the reality is people have their own problems, and a lot of the time they're really not thinking about you. And I see so often that we can, because I've been there myself, that we can get really restricted and focus on putting our energy, our time, our money into things that we really don't care about. But it's because we're perceiving, oh, if I do those things, I'm going to be more liked. So this whole area of people pleasing is just incredibly liberating. And as someone who is consistently trying to make sure that I make choices that are aligned with my values and how I want to lead my life, it really did kind of sit and hit right there. So even if you're feeling quite frustrated or stuck in your life at the moment and wondering, am I happy with some of the choices I've made? This is a brilliant book for you to kind of lift yourself out of that headspace and to really think about those things. So those were my takeaways on Meditations for Mortals. I would highly recommend you add it to your summer reading list. It's one I'm going to keep and still pick up because I just think the lessons in it, the practical pragmatism and bluntness of hey guys, we only get one life, so just show up even if it's imperfect, is a brilliant message to just act rather than keep waiting for life to happen. I found this book incredibly liberating, and I know you will too. And if you've read it, please let me know in the comments below which chapter resonated with you most as well. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.